Welcome back, everybody. So, it's late when I'm recording this, but I just got the random urge to make this into a video. So you know what? That's what I'm gonna do. So, as you remember, with my most recent video, a commentary video about the multiplayer side of things in Last Day on Earth, well, it went interesting, that's for sure. I put out a tweet that said something along the lines of, you don't really have to like Sector 7, or the Crater, or any of that, but at the very least you can sort of understand the update pain that's come with these months and months of waiting. The devs have even confirmed that it's pretty much single player for 17, so realistically, the next LDUE update would be like late October / early November if we go by this pattern, which really means there's only room for like 1, maybe 2 pushing it LDUE updates this year. And I think 1 multiplayer update is a little extreme. Here's a screenshot. Me and a couple of LDUE staff members and admins broke Sector 7, so I think that there's a lot of change to be ready. And, yeah, I'm curious. I haven't actually really read the comments in depth, and I wanted to save this sort of for a video and reply to a couple, because, yeah, it's a little easier for me to do it verbally as opposed to typing something very long out. Alright, let's do this. I'm a player of multiplayer, and my clan is maxed. But the lack of update have killed my clan, and some members have definitely stopped playing, and this makes me very angry about Kathir. Me too, although my clan is actually somewhat active now. In the old clan, where my alt is, yeah, it's pretty dead, I can see why, but with this new clan, I can totally understand the Sector 7 frustration. Triggered Satellite says, Kathir's next multiplayer update will be, if you switch characters, Frostborn will start. Multiplayer is so repetitive and grindy, it gets boring pretty fast. Frostborn is boring and repetitive too, so I guess that's the thing too. I wouldn't be surprised. Frostborn's updates are honestly better than LDUE's, if I had to say so. Yeah, actually, I would say that. 16 people clans, LDUE, should have adopted that. Shadow says, I personally don't care about multiplayer, is so much behind single player in so many aspects, and I just see no point in playing it. Crater is behind single player in some ways, yes, but in some other ways, it is way more advanced than single player. You're able to PvP people, which is something people have wanted in Last Day on Earth since forever. You are able to actually see people in the game, and whatever actions I might end up taking might affect other people. Where that be, if I want to aggro zombies at somebody, what were you thinking? Or stuff like that. So I suppose it's really how you want to look at it. But yes, I could totally see how single player can be considered so much ahead of multiplayer, I guess if you want to put it like that. There's so many more resources, so many more things to do, as opposed to, granted, it has been, let's look at the difference between updates. ENEA says, my thoughts about Crater, you hate it with passion or you love it. Honestly, that's true. Connor Boyle says, I like it online, it's pretty good, we definitely need an update, but I would like for them to maybe do some changes with coupons and how workbenches, but any update would be good. Actually, yeah, coupons could use an overwork, and the workbench system I've thought is pretty bad. If I'm being honest, yeah, it encourages clan cooperation, but at this point, honestly, we really just need anything. Ump says, what confuses me is that LDUE has 100 million downloads. Where are all those players? It's either there are very less LDUE YouTubers or these players quit the game recently. Well, I don't think that 100 million people would play LDUE every single day. Realistically, it's probably on the generous end right now, probably like 5 million, if that, probably less than that. Be generous, maybe 30% of those players playing Crater, and that's roughly what you're seeing. Like, my storages are still getting rented and stuff, so there are people playing. I don't know if they're bots yet, and that would honestly go for its own entire video, but there are people who still play Crater. You go into LDUE chat, and people are talking in Crater Lounge quite frequently. It's not entirely a dead chat by any means. In terms of LDUE YouTubers, LDUE YouTube, I will be honest, dies in between updates. Like, you can't survive off of LDUE YouTube. This could go for its own entire video. I'm sure you've heard me say it in so many other videos. But if you look at everyone's channel during these update lulls, you're either doing daily content, or you're struggling to scrap stuff like what I'm doing, or you just disappear entirely. Spas Arov says, I would like to see Pump Jack multiplayer location being added to the game and clan games being introduced. Yes, I absolutely agree. If Pump Jack is that last final update of the year, I think it would appease all of the multiplayer people. Definitely. And clan games too, I guess. Clash of Clans clan games are kind of meh. I really don't like Clash of Clans clan games, but I suppose we'll see how they implement it. Lady Ray says, I agree, Z. I wish they would drop another update in Sector 7. Me too. I hope that the last updates of the year end up being a multiplayer update. I'm very hopeful, especially, we bring more attention to this issue. More people grow to it, and hopefully it's the last update. Usually the last updates are single player. I think throughout the game's entire history, there has never once been an end of the year multiplayer update. But here's the hoping, right? Cool Hand Goose says, it's two completely different styles of games. I personally don't like multiplayer that much. It's way too pay to win. Like, there's no point in doing the Devour, need good armor and guns for little reward. At least single player, you can grind it out on your own terms. I mean, pay to win, what are you necessarily winning? That's the thing. Sure, you win more popularity, but what does popularity do in the end? I definitely agree with that first part, though. It is two totally different styles of games. You can not like multiplayer, you can prefer single player over multiplayer, but at the end of the day, you can at least empathize with the people who haven't received an update in ages. Skellen says, I'm actually happy they're not wasting time for, quote, multiplayer. They fail all their ideas in making multiplayer in LDE, and when they once did, they destroyed it right after. I'm assuming he's talking about PvP right there. PvP was an idea, and it was destroyed shortly thereafter. I definitely can agree with that. If anyone says, but there are people who play it, it should be updated, I bet there's more people who have the ATV than the ones that play Crater on a daily basis, and the ATV hasn't gotten a single update since it was released, even for dumb storage space that you can farm useless ash better and at least have the same space or even more than the chopper. Trust Issue says, not the biggest fan of Sector 7, makes me too dependent on other players to be able to enjoy the game. I'd rather grind out single player instead. I agree to an extent. I feel like multiplayer you should sort of want to rely on people. I don't know. They try to find line. Like Clash of Clans, you don't necessarily have to rely on your clan. You can play Clash of Clans just fine, but it helps if you're in a clan. Clan wars are an awesome source of loot. Clan troops for your clan castle are an extra benefit if you do choose to partake in that. But you can still play the game just fine if you decided never to join a clan. Pan says, put your meds in the extra pocket, third one, so your character will switch to the new gun in the second pocket. No. Also, they fixed that anyways. Energy says, multiplayer is the best thing, but the devs want money, ignoring the 3v1, 2v1 unfair PvPs, which need players to be insane like me until you kill them. If the devs really wanted money, wouldn't they update Sector 7 so there would be more packs, so there would be more stuff? The multiplayer people are the most dedicated people. If you're playing multiplayer now, you are more than likely people who are going to shell out money, people who really care for this game. So if the devs really wanted money, they would have updated multiplayer, I would think. Invincible Game says, I remember when multiplayer took away your happiness and sanity for a short time when you had to grind 80 levels for almost nothing. Enough said. I think they make an update that refresh the game in a good way. Yeah, they want to do that, and 50% of the people who can't play multiplayer. Multiplayer has been reduced to like level 30. It should be beyond easy to get it. I know people who literally just, sit down for like an hour and they reach level 30. So I don't think it's that difficult. I think anyone, if you want to play multiplayer, you can play multiplayer. Anywho, I've enjoyed reading these comments actually. If you want to see more of these, I definitely want to reply to comments on like the commentary videos especially, because I find this back and forth sort of conversation thing quite interesting. As always, leave your opinions down below. I'm curious, you want to refute anything I said? Or you think I'm wrong? You think multiplayer should just be burnt to the ground? Let me know all that down below. I'm actually curious what the LDV staffers are going to think. I'm going to go film all those cut-ins and all that fun stuff right now. Anywho, hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe. LDV YouTube is dead right now, so you better subscribe. ZD out.